This week you read Shut My Mouth Wide Open, Realistic Fiction and Social Action by Cynthia Tyson. And in it, she talks about books that they used with their students that you may have thought are not as appropriate as you'd like them to be. Maybe because of the topic or language that's used. And I want to read one of those books with you today. And while I'm reading, I'd like you to think about in what circumstances might this be acceptable? When might it actually be beneficial to students, in fact? And also, why might this be something you could use either with specific students or with a group of students? So, Bang Bang, You're Dead. And this is a pretty old version of the book because it hasn't been republished much. And so this was written in 1969, and this is the only version that I could get my hands on. So I apologize in advance that it's kind of beat up. Bang, bang, you're dead, said James. I'm a brave, brave, strong soldier, and soldiers always win. He marched out and met his friends, Timothy, Stanley, and Bert. All right, men, said James. Let's play Bang Bang, You're Dead. At the bottom of the hill, James said, Today, Stanley and me are the good guys, and Timothy and Bert are the bad guys. That's not fair, said Timothy. I was a bad guy yesterday. Okay, said James. You be a good guy today. First army and to take the hill wins, yelled James. They all ran for cover. Bert and Stanley looked up and couldn't see anyone. They started up the hill. Timothy and James looked out and couldn't see anyone. They started up the hill. Then, at the top of the hill, they all shot at once. Bang, bang, you're dead, yelled Stanley. Oof, argh, oomph, said Timothy, dying as he shot Stanley. Bang, bang, you're, oomph, said James. You got me. I got you dead, said Bert. Bang. I got you back, yelled James. They all lay dead. They all got up and marched down the hill and celebrated the end of the war. One day, as James and Timothy and Stanley and Bert were playing war, a strange thing happened. Who are you? Shouted James. This is our hill. I'm Big Mike, and it's our hill now, said the tallest one. We had it first, said Bert. Tough, said the big one. You have to take it away from us. We will, said James. Okay, said Big Mike. 3 o'clock tomorrow. James and his army went to headquarters, the treehouse. This is real war, said James. I'll get that Big Mike. Where does he get off saying it's his hill? Yeah, we'll fix those skunks. Let's chop off their heads. Let's get big rocks and smash them. Let's make a pact. We'll fight. To the end. It was 3 o'clock on the day of the Great War. The two armies met at the bottom of the hill. Give up, puke face. You don't have a chance, said Big Mike. Up your nose, you freak out, yelled James. Okay, men, take cover. The war began. There were screams, yells, blood, and pain. It was awful. There was terrible moaning and groaning James looked around. No one was fighting. They all lay hurting. "This isn't any fun," said Timothy. "Why did we do it?" No one could answer. "Nobody won," said James. "We all lost," said the smallest one to his tooth. Well, who gets the hill?" James and Big Mike looked at each other. "Why don't we just use it," said James. "Together?" said Big Mike. "Then there'd be more people to play with. Let's all come back tomorrow." "And play war? Real war?" "No, you know," said James. "Bang, bang, you're dead." And that's the end of the story. And I just want you to think about why this might have been written in 1969, for what population, to make what point. Something I would talk with students about would be the difference between real and pretend, the importance of understanding what violence really looks like and can do to people, and also this idea at the end of the story of community building and being a giving person. But think a little bit about what might have been going on in the country and why this might have been popular in the 60s, late 60s, and then also how you might even use something like this today.